Hello everybody, welcome back to FM24 with the European Journeyman Save, and this is quite a big episode for Aston Villa. Let's get into it. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Save, and this is the end of the season with two cup finals. We are in the Europa League final against Arsenal and then the FA Cup final against Tottenham. So it's all to play for in this episode. The great news is that if we look at the league table, we have already secured Champions League football for next year. So not too much actually riding on these finals, just prestige and reputation. We finished fourth, 3 points ahead of West Ham, and that is because Arsenal and everyone around us basically bottled the last two games of the season. If we go and have a look at the schedule, you can see here we beat Southampton 3-2 and Arsenal 1-0 going into the final game, which was absolutely amazing. West Ham, if we look at them, who were probably our biggest rivals, went into it and lost to us. We beat them in the third game of the third penultimate game of the season. That doesn't make sense. In the third game to go of the season, they drew with Arsenal and lost to Man City 4-0, so they cocked it up. And then we look at Man United. They're also in it here with us for battling for it. They beat Southampton and beat Brentford, so they did everything they could do, but we just beat them. And obviously when we beat Arsenal, it sort of ended their run as well. But before that, they drew with West Ham. So all the other teams messing up meant that we secured fourth place and a place in the Champions League for next season, which is absolutely incredibly good. Playing with a three at the back system, which is something that I don't normally do, and I really actually am enjoying using it. The squad definitely does need an overhaul to be ready for the Champions League. We are not there yet. The squad is nowhere near good enough, but we will hopefully be able to keep the improvements coming and keep the team improving. The squad as a whole is now wanted by lots of different clubs. Goalkeeper Sinovacic is wanted by Al Hilal. George, the centre-back, Al Hilal. Miroslav Cerny is wanted by Valencia. Hurdle is wanted by Benfica and Real Madrid. Chris Rigg is wanted by PSG, Real Madrid and Al Hilal. So we're probably going to sell Chris Rigg. He's 31. He's done a good job this season coming in, but I reckon we can get very good money for a 31-year-old that we could probably replace quite easily. Obviously, Arda Güler is moving. We've got, who else? We've got Rory Mahadoui moving. Bodart is wanted by a couple of clubs. Odja Lex wants to go. And Luke Barrett is also wanted by a couple of clubs at the end of his contract as well. So I think when we come back at the start of next season, the squad is probably going to look pretty different, to be honest. But that's not to worry about now, is it? We've got two massive games to see out this season, which is playing both of the North London big clubs, Arsenal and Tottenham, in two different finals. In Bruges, we're taking on Arsenal in the Europa League final, and then at Wembley, we are taking on Tottenham in the FA Cup final, both in this episode today. Can we win two trophies for Aston Villa? That would be lovely. This is how we're probably going to line up in this game. This is how we beat Arsenal 1-0 last time we played them. We massively rode our luck. Yes, we massively rode our luck last time we played Arsenal. We won, but they absolutely battered us. So we're going to see how this goes. Now, being the Europa League, we do get extra places on the bench. So we're just going to chuck in Reece Hilton, Hilo Way, and Christophe Bodart in there. Actually, let's put Luke Barrett. I don't want to play Bodart. He wants to leave. So we'll chuck Luke Barrett on the bench. Now, I'm expecting us to lose because, as I said, Arsenal battered us. Last time we played them, they battered us. Sinovacic in goal had one of the best games of his season in his career, and we managed to score. But they've got a very good team. Lamine Yamal is still there. Nwaneri has grown into one hell of a player, so this is going to be very, very tough. The fans have been fantastic. They pay your wages. Let's go out there and make sure that we give them something to cheer. I think that is the main thing to do. I'm still in 2D because that's how I've been playing it off camera. So I do, one, it's quicker to play in 2D, and two, you do get to see more of the game when you watch it in 2D in terms of where players are running and how the tactic is working. So if you're ever struggling tactically, my advice would be to watch a few games in 2D on extended highlights. Arda Güler swings it in, it's headed away. Lampay back on target, but Cockbill with an easy save. We're probably getting a little bit too quick again, aren't we? As this Arsenal team are very good. Garcia wins the header into Kloppenberg. Kloppenberg tackled. Lamine Yamal is white in the match engine. That's I think a little bit of an error on Football Manager's part. Peneso into Lamine Yamal again. Lamine Yamal onto that left foot. He's going to score. Oh, he missed. Bloody hell. I didn't expect Lamine Yamal to miss from there, but Arsenal showing that they are sort of on top of us here. So we slightly lowered the tempo and worked the ball into the box whilst playing on positive with the two sort of narrower, more like a Ruben Amorim system is how I would describe this. But yeah, we probably will change at some point, and we are going to do some opposition instructions here as well. We're going to just make sure that Mackay doesn't get on the ball. He's their playmaker. We're going to try and just... do you know what? We're going to do everything. We're going to do everything to Mackay. Don't let him get on the ball at all. The other thing we're going to look at is... I do want the match stats. I'm not too fussed. I'd like to have well, I might have to pause it to do that. The passing, because you can really see who they're then utilising to try and get on the ball. With Georges. But great ball through Lampay. Oh, Cockbill with a save. He could have gone closer in, I think, Lampay. But it's a really good save from Cockbill in goal. Arda Güler with the corner. He's going to swing this one in towards Torres, but Hung Ji-Shin gets it away. And Kloppenberg is very well tackled by Pedersen. Pedersen's another one. We bought him in for relatively big money last summer, £23 million. And he's had a decent season. Seems to be very, very injury prone. And I think we can invest. The wing backs are definitely going to be the hardest position that we have to improve in, because they're just so difficult to find in Football Manager. Like really good wing backs that can do everything you want them to do. Good tackle from Lamine Yamal there. But yeah, it's going to be tough. And I think that's where we're going to invest most of our money. I feel like the rest of the squad is pretty good. Obviously, if we sell Chris Rigg and Barrett as well, then we'll need to get a central midfielder. But I do think we've got good options in most places. We've got a couple of youngsters coming through as well. That's over the bar. So the squad next year will look different, but we'll have to wait and see. Right, what I wanted... Oh, it's there. This is the passing maps I wanted. It's top right. It's just not loaded any information yet. Maybe, I think, half-time that gets loaded in, and you can normally see like where their goalkeeper's passing the ball to and what's sort of happening in that realm. But 0-0 at half-time. Arsenal have been the better team. No one's created a clear-cut chance yet, which is interesting. So I'm going to say if we get the goal, I think we'll then be favourites. So let's keep it up, keep it going. No one's playing outstandingly good or bad in either direction. So let's see how this goes. So yeah, you can see. So 1 to 19. So number 9. Who's number 19? Let's cancel that. Opposition instructions. Number 19. They don't. Have they subbed off number 19? Who is number 19, please? No, they're not playing. Was I looking at mine? I was looking at mine, wasn't I? Cancel that. Stay on paused. 23 and 18 is actually getting the most passes. So, yeah, so number 18. I can't believe I looked at the wrong. Number 18, it is Roldan. So we will go here to Roldan, and we're going to say tightly mark him, trigger the press, tackle him hard, show him onto his weaker foot. Try and just stop the goalkeeper having that outlet, as it shows he's passing more to 18 than he is 23. So we'll go with that. But they're very congested in the middle. As Ali Dean, remember that name? That's a guy that I think we brought into the higher levels of football. Lamine Yamal shoots straight at Sinovacic, and it's a decent save. This game's actually been relatively quiet. I think we're going to now, just as they have a dangerous free kick, we are now just going to revert to our wider system, which does get the ball. It gives us more options going forward. It's a bit less congested, opens it up a little bit more. So we will go with that, and leaves men forward as well. Kloppenberg in, header over the bar. No, nothing really there for Sinovacic to be worried about. But yeah, we're in a decent position. I do think we're going to have to get some fresh legs on in the middle. So Rigg is going to come off. His fitness, by the way, is awful. He basically can never get through 90 minutes. Arda Güler off for Brian Bello. And Lampay's not having a good game. Lampay off for Delatrey. Pedersen off for Nolan as well. So that's a bit of a mix of poor performances and fitness substitutes. But 4 subs on the hour mark. They are really keeping this going. Gradilla is now gone to playmaker. So I wonder if we'll have to keep a close eye on that. There's 20 minutes to go. Again, not much happening. We'll just watch this throw in before I make some changes. Cerny throws it in. Hurdle. Back to Van Dam. Van Dam goes back to Torres. Torres to Van Dam. We're just keeping the ball nicely here. Torres. Van Hoek. Back to Torres. Back to Van Dam. We could up the tempo a little bit as well, just to give a bit more energy. And Van Dam, really good run. Cerny. Van Dam. Hurdle. Van Heck is on the edge, picks out Nolan, all the substitutes combining. Nolan just went into a bit of a dead end there, didn't he? And George does get on the end of it. George, the centre-back. It's a terrible shot. Absolutely woeful. Let's up our tempo a little bit. 20 minutes to go. We've only had 3 shots in the entire game, so we really haven't been at our best. But Bello swings in a corner looking for Miroslav Cerny on the top of the bar. Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. But you just watch Arsenal pick up a winner in a minute. Hung Chi Sing at the back into Aladin. Aladin comes forward. Good interception from Van Dam. Up to Delatrey. Delatrey out to Nolan. That new pace on that left-hand side seems to be working wonders. Nolan dings across in towards Bello. Yes, come on! Brian Bello scores at the back post. He's going to be our number 1 replacement for Arda Güler next year. He'll be taking that right wing spot off Arda Güler and be our starting winger. But Nolan did really well. These two, the fresh legs on this side, linking up really well. Good cross in, and Bello at the back post heads it down. A really good header. 18 minutes to go. I sort of feel like we can potentially lower that tempo back, but we've arguably been playing better as we've just upped the tempo a little bit. Klopenberg swings in a corner, headed away. Hurdle will look to bring this forward. He's probably in the next substitute I'm going to make. Hurdle off as Nolan comes forward again. Again, the fresh legs on the left-hand side doing wonders. Nolan puts in another cross towards Tomisek. De Jong heads it away. Van Heck is in the area. It's 2-0. Come on. Yannick Van Heck, we've tactically done this game really well. We went to a sort of a more composed hold possession system in the first half. We've watched some of the data that we've got and judged by that and sort out what we want to do for player instructions. And Van Heck, the guy that I didn't think would play that much, he's actually been really good for us this year off the bench. It's 2-0 to Aston Villa in the Europa League final. This is absolutely class. Right, we're going to do one last sub, and I just think we need the energy at wing back. So Cerny off, Sam Boucher is going to come on, and we'll go from there. 10 minutes to go, 2-0 up. They changed to a 4-4-2 diamond, and let's see what they can get from that. So I think we can potentially now, don't look for the underlaps, play for set pieces, don't pass the ball into space. We're going to lower the tempo. We're just going to, and we take counter press off in that other system as well to mean that we're not running around too much like headless chickens. But really, I think the other thing we can do, we'll just let this highlight play out. I think we're just going to try and really get on the wins. Rooney Bargi, good hit, good save from Sinovicic, but they're going for those long range shots, and that's not a problem. Rooney Bargi at Arsenal are still in the game, so he'll probably is relatively close to retiring, I'd imagine. Klopenberg goes close, but 5 minutes to go. You sort of get the feeling that Arsenal are, they're sort of throwing the kitchen sink and not getting much out of it. We're going to use wingers to exploit their 4-4-2 diamond. Cockbill punches it away. Well done, Sam Boucher with his fresh legs. George brings it forward out to Nolan. Nolan he's been really good, Nolan, since coming on, hasn't he? But 5 minutes to go. I'm actually going to do pause it up there, and then tactically we're just going to change you guys to wing backs on support. We don't need much more, to be honest, and we're going to go deep line playmaker on defend. Let's just sit Hurdle in there. He doesn't need to go and do too much more attacking wise, but come on, what a victory this would be. We're into 5 minutes of time added on, and I think we're going to wrap up potentially one of 2 trophies in this episode. We've beaten Arsenal, who are the better team, by the way, than Tottenham. So there we go. Come on. The Europa League is in the bag. Have we won the Europa? Did we win the Europa League with Monaco? I think we did in our first season. But that is great. So we're going to go into the Champions League, not only qualifying through league form, but also qualifying as Europa League winners as we watch the team lift the trophy. Right. Let's go and win the FA Cup. Here we are then, FA Cup final day at Wembley, taking on Tottenham as we, just win the Europa League, didn't we? Absolutely lovely. Right, we're going to go back to the normal system against Spurs as Arda Güler will come out to the right-hand side as an inside forward. Lampe will start out there as an inside forward as well. We'll go back to counter-pressing, and we will up our tempo, take off work ball into the box, and go back to attacking. I'm more confident against Tottenham, which is weird. We've got a few tired legs. George is tired in there. Hurdle and Chris Rigg are a little bit tired, but I do think we're going to start with the same system. I probably would like Reece Heaton on the bench. No, we'll be fine with Nolan and Delatray, actually. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's get into this. Nothing really too worried about in terms of system and players. We definitely need some younger legs coming through in this squad because we do get tired very quickly. The fans have been fantastic. They pay your wages, go and win a trophy for them. I'll keep it exactly the same as what we did against Arsenal. So, the FA Cup final at Wembley. Pape Matar Sarr still in there. It's interesting, isn't it? We've got Arda Güler and Chris Rigg in ours who aren't new gens. And everybody else sort of is. I think next year will be the year that it will be fully new gens. I'm not going to promise that because I always love signing a veteran, don't I? A well-known veteran player. But we shall see. The FA Cup final is underway. It started relatively slow. Nothing of note inside 12 minutes. Tottenham sort of taking the lead, I guess. 3 shots to 0, 1 on target. We've not created anything just yet. There you go, 1 shot, 1 on target. But at the moment, pretty dull and boring FA Cup final, if we're going to be honest. I was expecting a little bit more than this. We've matched them in shots and on target. We've created 2 half chances. They've had 1. We are lacking a little bit in possession. Sherney to Arda Güler. Miroslav Sherney back to Van Dam. Van Dam out to Sherney again. Low cross in. Oh, it's a really good save from Saleh in goal. I think it was Tomasek that got on the end of it. But we'll have Arda Güler with a corner. We're going to miss his set pieces. He's very good at them. Swings it in. Gunnahor gets it away and Umut just clears his lines. Hurdle did intercept it, but yeah, we've just ticked into being the better team now. Arda Güler in it goes. Miroslav Sherney over the bar. 5 minutes till half time. We've had two highlights of attempts, but nothing really of note. And it's all corners. Arda Güler swings it in towards the back post this time, and Pape Matar Sarr heads it away. Lampe will keep it alive. Into Torres. Back to Hurdle. Hurdle into Miroslav Sherney. Sherney, look to cut inside. Güler takes over. Van Dam, Rigg. Good space for Pedersen on the left. Pedersen to the byline. Oh, nearly an own goal. It was actually a really good save from Saleh, to be honest. But as we get to half-time, we have taken the sort of the control of the game is what I would suggest. 5 shots to 2. We've had a much better XG. 1 clear-cut chance created. But we've not been doing our best, have we? Go and get the goal to make us favourites. We're going to keep it basically exactly the same as what we did against Arsenal because that appeared to work in the Europa League final. But we shall see. I don't want to go to the middle system. What have they got here? They're passing, so 20 and 16. They're not really picking one to play for. So we'll just mark out one of them. Hubert, I think we will mark just to cut off that outlet and see how they react to that. And yeah, we'll go for that at the moment. They're not really playing with a playmaker. They've got Uma out wide, but he's not too involved in the game at the moment, as Villa-Lobos, who's one of the best players in the world, is currently at Spurs, and he's coming forward on the right side. Pedersen's got sent off. What an idiot. What an absolute moron. Mikhail Pedersen has just got sent off. Arda Güler is going to come off for John Nolan. John Nolan's going to come out to this wing-back position, but what an idiot. Chris Rigg's knackered. He's going to come off as well. Van Hoyk, who scored in the Europa League final, will come on. Just what an absolute moron. Who gets sent off in a cup final for a little push in the back? A cynical foul on Villa-Lobos. And Tomasek's now injured as well. We're going to do Tomasek for Wallace, Lampe up front, and then we'll put Wallace in here as a sort of playmaker on attack, just to try and link the ball together, try and get some sort of linkage between attack and midfield. Oh my word, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart in the FA Cup final. Luckily, we've already won the Europa League, so it's never going to be a completely downbeat episode, is it, of the series? But yeah, we're doing very well. 10 men. We're still playing well. Right, let's get fresh legs on. How many subs have we got left? We've got 2 subs left. Hurdle off. We'll bring on... yes, I didn't move Bennett, did I? We'll bring on Nash in there. That's not the best idea I've ever had, but we'll do that. And Cerny off for Sam Boucher to get that fresh legs on the right-hand side as well, because we're going to need lots of running from our wing-backs. Corner ball, as Loran is going to take it for Tottenham, and it goes Ramirez header over the bar. Not very good. at all. 20 minutes to go, down to 10 men in the FA Cup final. It's not ideal. Sinovicic is going to go long with the goal kick. Nash can't win it, playing in a little bit out of position in central midfield there, Nash, but as a box to, I might change him from a box to back box though. He definitely can't do that. We'll put you as a ball winner on support. Go and chase them down. Use your fresh legs and your energy and see what you can do. 10 minutes to go. Nolan with the throw in. He's going to take this one short, isn't he? He should do. I mean, he's wasting his time. Now we're down 10 men. Van Hoyk gives it back to Nolan. Wallace out to George. Van Hoyk again. Van Hoyk shoots. Oh my word. Very close, but Salaire saw it past the post. 0-0 still. And Tottenham haven't done very much, but given the fact they've got 11 men to our 10 and they've got fresh legs to bring on, I'm not going to rule out the fact that they will win this game. They are going out to number 20 a little bit more in terms of the passing, but we'll look at that later on. We don't need to worry about it too much now. Let's focus on our own game. Prokic. I just see they're picking up an extra man every so often into Loran. Back to Prokic again. Prokic is actually someone that I've scouted and was looking at buying, and there's Loran. He gets the goal. Sort of been coming. I think it's not been coming, but sort of expected, isn't it? I think down to 10 men. I mean, it doesn't change our defensive system, but it just gives them an extra man they can play through. Not that they committed too many men forward, but Prokic did really well down here, just fired in a cross, and I think it's more tiredness of our defenders, to be honest, it's going to catch them. But Tottenham may actually now win a trophy, so well done, Tottenham fans. Enjoy it. They've grown into it since we went down to 10. But yeah, it's going to be Tottenham to win the FA Cup. You can't win them all. We've got the Europa League, and I think that's probably the one I would have wanted the most in these two games. But I would have loved to have won them both, obviously. But we do win the Europa League, and Tottenham can enjoy their FA Cup win. We're definitely not going to watch what's going on there. Unlucky. It would have been nice to win it. But that is the end of the season. Well done, Spurs, picking up the FA Cup. We win the Europa League, beating Arsenal. So really, it's probably the best ever 4 days Spurs have had. Arsenal lost the cup final, and Spurs won their own cup final there as well. Thomas Isaac's out for 3 weeks with a fractured toe. Pedersen's banned for his sending off, and that was absolutely lovely. So the season wraps up then with us finishing 4th and in a Champions League spot, winning the Europa League, runner-up in the FA Cup, and winning the Community Shield. Knocked out in the semi-finals by West Ham in the Carabao Cup. I would say that's a bloody successful season. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode where we'll be back to start the next season with Aston Villa. I'm intrigued to see what sort of managerial merry-go-rounds, easy for me to say, are going to happen in the off-season. Let's wait and see. Get your comments in the description below. This ending has been dreadful. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. Get your comments down below about players and positions you think we should improve in. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.